Today at the shop, we're working on a PS4 controller, but this one's a little different than other ones. As you can see by the button here, and that it had some pads on the back here, and of course, the Scuf Pro little buttons here. Problems with these ones is they still have the same PS4 problems, which is you got your L2 and R2 break way too easily. As you can see, there's too much gap here on this one. And that's what we're going to be looking to fix today. But these have security bits that the PS4 controllers do not. You have some T or star, as a lot of people call them, bits here. And then you have kind of a reverse star. I'm not exactly sure the name of this one, but it is not used in much. Old Nintendo products mostly. But I do have the tool that'll take that out. Let's see if I can get it on camera. As you can see, it looks like what a T tool would fit into, but it itself fits over the screw. Let's see if I can get it focused really good there so you can kind of see. Yep, there we go. I think that's pretty well focused. Then we just need a small Phillips head. Once again, we're just using the 2.0. Works for most everything. Might need a pry tool. And then we need something that'll fit the really small, I believe it's like T2 or T3 possibly. And we got our trusty set of Torx everything. So let's start out with T3. Nope, it's actually a little bit bigger than the T3. Bigger than the T4 even. Maybe I was a little off in my size estimate. Let's see here. T5. No, still bigger than the T5. It isn't in between though. T6. Yep, T6 it is. Still smaller than most sizes, but... So if one thing that was taught to you here, don't trust me on estimates, but that's why I pick out the exact screwdriver and know exactly which one it is before I tell you guys for sure what exactly it is. I've also gotten questions like that on a YouTube channel that ask, well, what size is this? And I'll tell people, I do not have the device in front of me. I don't want to quote you. It may be. So, I mean, that's a maybe though. So don't hold me to it. Basically, you got to get all these extra little components out of the way so you can take the back off of this. If I remember right, I've only ever had one of these Scuf controllers apart before. I've taken apart plenty of PS4 controllers, but obviously the Scuf stuff adds some extra challenges. I don't know how many people have one of these videos up on YouTube of the actual Scuf ones, but we have the 4 T6 here, and then we have the standard ones that are in all PS4 controllers, which are here, 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 and this is supposed to be a standard Phillips head, which they replaced with that special bit, like a reverse Torx, which I believe the one I'm using to take it apart is the same one I used to take apart Game Boy Advanced. There's only 2 that Nintendo use, so if you just pick up both, it'll work for a lot of stuff. And a side note, don't leave your PS4 on the floor, even if it's powered off. Especially if you're working on the controller. I just put mine down on the floor real quick to get it powered on to test the controller. And I think it's already overheating over there. I just heard it kick on, it doesn't sound healthy. Yep, it kicked on. Well, I had to test the controller, make sure everything else worked, not just the L button, or R2 that's broke. Okay, power back off the PS4. Okay, now let's see. They also made it difficult because this is recessed a little bit, so it's hard to get a tool in there. So you gotta kind of jam down in there. And slowly get it to turn. Yeah, I guess they decided just normal security bits wouldn't do. They were going to use something really hard to get out. Oh, and it is really proving to be quite the pain in the rear end screw. Just a little bit what I was worried about, and why I thought maybe I should make a video before people try to take this apart themselves and realize there is a bit in there that does not want to come out. If worst comes to worst, you can just drill the bit out. I mean, who wants to try to drill into a PS4 controller? I mean, if you have a vise or something, I mean, you could probably do it. Bump them out for the camera. Sorry, guys. And I bump it again. Not getting enough arm movement here to get that loose. Let's see. Pull up the sleeves. Let's see if we can get a little better torque on this thing to get it to go. I said I've had to open one of these before with this tool. This one is proving to be more of a pain. I'm just going to keep bumping them out with my arm, aren't I? Just if anybody's wondering if I got the wrong size, this is the other standardized size. And as you see, it's quite a bit bigger and won't fit. Oh! See if I can get a better grip. Put it more up right here. Yep, looks like I'm not having any luck with it. My other security bit has one to work on it too. Something that'll grip a little bit more maybe. Got a reverse Phillips, and then we got one of these which may work on it. This is another style that's sometimes used to take them out. Just basically grabs on either side of the star and then twists it out of there. But that may not work either. Let's get it in the bit and see if we can get a grip. That's why Nintendo went to the tri-screws, because these tend to strip easier and become a really big pain in the rear end once they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Looks like we got a good grip on it with that. Might have got it to actually start to loosen up here. I'm probably not going to be putting this screw back in though. I will probably put the old Phillips head back in for them if I got one laying around. Because if they ever need this thing repaired again, I don't want to go through the difficulty of trying to get this thing out again when it's starting to strip some, and like I said, they strip very easily. Okay, we got to start on it with that. Let's see if this will grip it now. Yeah, I feel the controller giving a little bit loose here. And pain the rear end screw out. Okay, now with all these controllers, they're always the same difficulty. You gotta pop it, but once you go up here, you start having these try to break loose. And also you want to look inside when it's one of these, because there's going to be wires probably running up to these, and you're just going to have all kinds of problems because there's stuff that should not be in here. Okay, we got one side up. I'm going to carefully do this side, which this side is the broken one, so it's going to probably come apart wrong. And then we'll flip this over. And like I said, they got extra wires running all over the place in here, which is the part you do not want to break. Okay, we're going to pull this to get it out of the way. At least one thing we can remove. And that's just a little pull-up sliding connector. It's got the hard plastic on it so it doesn't get bent. Always make sure to grab the hard plastic. Don't be grabbing the wire. Don't need to break anything extra. Yeah, I can't even get past that either. So we're going to have to carefully sit this down. I'm going to pop the button back out of our way. There we go. Which actually didn't break the button too bad, but I think they lost the metal spring, didn't help. But we're going to put a brand new button in there. Brand new button, new R2. And as we drop the spring where we don't want to, come down in here. Brand new spring, if you can see that on the camera there. Okay. So now when you're reassembling one of these, you got the littlest spring in the world, really. And a lot of times it's best to watch when you're disassembling them, which I'll actually show you some of the disassembly. Pops up over here. The little spring is on this side. But you want to pull away from the spring and try not to dislodge it. If you can manage to do that. Mine's giving me a little bit more force than I want to be able to try to remove it. Usually the spring will try to pop right out of there. But you know, if you can see, I don't think I can get this on the camera where you can see the spring from that side. Oop, and the spring popped off. Usually what you're going to want to do is grab some really small tweezers, because your fingers getting in there is just going to be a pain. Something that's literally capable of stabbing you. It's so sharp of tweezers. And don't pick up the really cheap ones. They usually don't have very good points. There's some that are like a medium price, I guess you could call it. But yeah, you basically sit the little spring down in there. And then you slide this side back along it. sometimes it's easier to actually put the spring on the button before you shove it in there. If you can't get it to slide in. Which these ones haven't been changed very often, so they're not sliding. So literally we'll put the spring on the button like that. And then we'll click the button down in. And once it's in there, it'll have a little springiness to it. Okay, and then we'll fix the one that's actually broke. Now that I've showed you a disassembly and reassembly. And this one, the groove is on the opposite side because this is the right one. So it's basically the inner connector. So on the controller, the springs will go towards the inner part, towards the light. So flip this. As I drop the button. Okay, make sure your button's clean if you drop it. Don't want to install hairs and fuzz in there, which actually I think I have some on my finger. Like I mentioned in another video, I need to vacuum this floor, which I still need to get done. One of those things that gets procrastinated when you're working on repairs. Let's see here. So we got to do the inner. We want the shorter end to be connected in here. Actually, I think they're equal on this new spring. Replacing that spring makes them both equal, which I guess saves you some time. And then the spring slides off so they can't get to it. Which another thing these tweezers work really good for is getting things back out of where they fall when you don't want them to. Because now we have a spring that just fell down inside the controller, and there it goes. Which hopefully their other one isn't down in there somewhere. I didn't hear it, so it shouldn't be. Like I said, trying to do this with just your fingers is a pain in the rear end. You're going to want some kind of tweezers. And probably not the kind you use to pluck your eyebrows. Which, I mean, you probably could do it with those, but professional type tweezers are usually just better. Finer points, like I was saying earlier, make it easier to grab things and poke things where you need them. Not that it seems to be helping me too much today. Some people do ask me how I work on repairs when I don't exactly have perfectly steady hands. They shake a little bit. Well, you just have to have a little more patience to go with it. And with any repair, patience is kind of a thing anyways. Oh, whoops. Well, there's the problem I'm having right now. I tried to reverse where I was putting this. I reversed where I had everything positioned. Which I don't think the old buttons... No, old buttons have a mark on it too. They won't let you put it on the wrong side. It's actually blocked off over here. Also probably to prevent you from switching right and left triggers. Of course, the side that's broke on is the side where all the wires are. Okay. I think I got it clicked back in there. Look at it from both sides, make sure they didn't break the mounts at all. Which actually... Yep, it does click back in there, just not as firmly as I'd like. Ooh. They also broke this, so hopefully they're not too hard on it. Sorry about bumping the camera again. But yeah, they do have a little break in the plastic here. Might have to patch that up for them too. So we'll see about that. I think it'll get held together by everything, but hopefully they don't break their trigger on it again. But basically, you sit these in first. And as you try to lower this on, you push your triggers back just slightly to leave room for these little plastic pieces here. Oh. And if you disconnected this wire here, make sure to plug it back in. I don't know if anybody noticed I didn't do that, but we should do that now before we go forgetting how to take the controller back apart. And there it is, back in there. Like I said, you just grab the little plastic piece and slide it right back down on using the hard plastic piece, the blue plastic. Okay. And we can hold right here. And actually, I remember from last time, these two T5s do not actually need to come out for the Scuf to take it apart. Don't believe they hook into anything important. So you can leave those on. Something else you can learn from my video. All the T5s do not have to come out. Or T6s, sorry. And then once you got this in place, you just got to get past these little things here. Little posts for the screws. Which you can just push in on them lightly. And it should just pop right into place. If your button pops up, just pop it right back down. And everything else should just pop right back into place. Squeeze there, squeeze there. Test out your triggers here. Hopefully they don't get too trigger happy. Or they will break it again. Okay. R2 does have some wiggle to it, more than L2. But that little bit of play shouldn't be a problem because it still works. As long as I don't manage to pop it up like they did there. It's one of the problems they're going to run into is popping it back up in place. So I may have to glue this for them to keep that from happening. The original button has an extra piece that I don't think goes with it normally. I wonder if that's part of the mod too. But everything seems to be back where it needs to be. Now we just gotta go back through and put all the screws in. Which, I don't know if anyone noticed, but the T screws are wider and not as long as the standard screws, which go in these spots. So for this repair, all you need is a lot of patience to make sure those buttons stay in place. And remember, just because I made it look easy to keep in place, they are not at all easy to keep in place. Remember my first PS4 controller, it kept flopping everywhere, parts kept falling out. I've had some people bring in a PS4 controller and be like, I don't know how you do it. So it may look easy when someone knows what they're doing and has done them enough times to know exactly where to hold. So I tell you where to hold, but it still can be kind of difficult. So just because this repair looks easy, do not assume it is. It is not an Xbox One controller. It is a PS4 controller, and they tend to be more of a pain. Make sure there's nothing rattling inside there. And that's pretty much it for the reassembly. Like I said, you won't have to worry about reassembling these because they don't really need to come off. But I guess I could show you the reassembly of them too, in that case you need to take them off for something. But yeah, you basically don't drop them a million times. You just hold it down. Try to get one screw in somewhere. Don't worry about clicking the button, it won't hurt anything. And screw them down. And then once you got the first screw in, you can just put the second screw in place and screw that down. Not that you can really see probably the screws on camera too well anyways. And if you're applying a security seal to a PS4 controller, I recommend to apply it, not on these ones, but right up over these ones, just putting a little label right up over it. And that's because when somebody's using the controller, their hands don't really touch those screws. You see their fingers wrap right here underneath them, so they probably won't wipe off your security seal. This one probably won't get touched too much, but there's still a chance that their hand might sit on it just right and cause an issue. And there I go, turn on my PS4 again. But I need to test out the controller's R button, so I guess that works. So, in retrospect, you need a 2.0 Phillips and the special reverse Torx, but you do not need the Torx for this repair. Like, subscribe if you want, and thanks a lot for watching.